What's up, everybody? Welcome to another ranking video. And today I will be ranking every movie I watched for the first time in April of 2023. Yes. And before I get started, I want to apologize for not releasing a video last week. And the reason why was because, well, one thing, there was a big tornado that hit my town, so and it knocked our power out, and we were out of power for about 4 or 5 days. And that's one reason. But also, when the power came back on, I was trying to do a video. I was going to do a album review. Um, and I tried two different albums, and I fucked up both videos. So I wasn't able to release a video last week because of that. And yeah, I apologize for that. But I'm back again. So yeah, just in case you're wondering, that's why. All right. So okay. So like I said, every movie I watched for the first time in April of 2023, uh, ranked from my least favorite to favorite. I watched 17 movies this month. I think last month I did 19. Now it's 17, so almost close to being my record, but not quite. but yeah, so keep in mind, these are my personal opinions. If you like a movie that's lower on the list, I apologize. If you like a movie that's higher on that, if you don't like a movie that's higher on the list, then sorry, you know. So yeah, keep that in mind. Okay, so 17, my least favorite, one my favorite. Let's get started, shall we? Okay, so coming in at number 17, we have a movie from last year that is Pinocchio, and not the Del Toro Pinocchio. No, I actually already seen that before, and that was a pretty good movie. No, this is the bad one. This is the Robert Zemeckis uh, Disney live action remake of Pinocchio, and yeah, I get it. I get why this was one of the why this is like one of the most hated films of last year. Now, I will be honest, I didn't hate this movie. In fact, I think I gave it a 5 out of 10, or maybe I gave it a 4. I can't remember for sure, but or maybe no, I think it was a 3. Now that I think about it, I think it was a 3. Like, I didn't like this movie, but I didn't hate it either. It was just whatever. I definitely will never watch it again, but I watched it mostly because I'm working on a Robert Zemeckis ranking. Um, and I have another Zemeckis film on this list, so we'll get to later. And that one's much better than this. But yeah, this wasn't a good movie. I definitely get when people say that Tom Hanks was terrible in this movie. Um, I mean, what I saw from him was pretty much just him not trying. Really, it really felt like he didn't want to be there. So that's why his performance was off. Because he just looked like he wasn't having a good time. Oh, and also another performance that I actually hated was actually Joseph Gordon-Levitt as what's his name, Jiminy Cricket. He was terrible. He was just so his voice was just so annoying, and I just hated every time he spoke. I just hated it. um, I think there were like two things I liked about the movie. One was I did like some of the Disney references that they did in the film. Like there were like some of Geppetto's clocks were like references to older Disney movies. In fact, there was even a Roger Rabbit reference in one of them because the director Robert Zemeckis did Roger Rabbit as well. So that was pretty cool. But and also I actually did like one performance in the movie, and that was Keegan Michael Key as the Fox character. I don't remember his name, and he was just barely in the movie, but he was actually pretty good. I actually liked his performance as the Fox character, but that's it. I didn't like this movie, but I didn't hate it either. It's just whatever. It's a one and done. I'll never watch it again. Next. Yeah. Pinocchio was number 17. So next. Okay, so number 16 is a Pixar film. I actually have three Pixar movies on this list. I got Disney Plus back, which is, of course, why I watched Pinocchio, how I watched Pinocchio. But yeah, the, my number 16 is Lightyear from last year, the Buzz Lightyear spinoff. And this movie was okay. It wasn't a great movie. There were a lot of flaws. The story was very flawed and very disappointing. I didn't like the pacing either, and I really did not like what they did with the villain Zurg because I loved Zurg in Toy Story 2, but what they did with him in this movie was pretty shitty, honestly. The characters were fine. There were some humorous moments here and there, some funny moments, and I actually did like the character of Socks, the cat, the robot cat. He was cool. I liked him. He was the best character in the movie. He was funny. Um, yeah, but yeah, this movie it's okay. It's not great. I don't know. Would I ever watch this again? Maybe. Maybe I might would, but I mean definitely not anytime soon. But yeah, so yeah, Lightyear, that is my number 16. Okay, my number 15 is a Steven Spielberg film, and that is Ready Player One. Um, and this one was a little bit disappointing too. It actually started out really good, I remember, but then as it kept going, I don't know. I just wasn't really that invested into the story. I was at first when the movie started, but as it kept going, it just got kind of lame, and I didn't really care for it. I did like Olivia Cook. I thought she was really good in the movie. I liked her character too. The main character was fine. Some of the other characters were okay. It's an okay movie. Maybe I'll watch it again. I don't know, but it's okay. Yeah, Ready Player One. That is my number 15. Okay, my number 14 is a movie that me and Cade were originally going to do a podcast episode of. Your Cousins Are Critics. We were originally going to do this movie. We watched it, and at the last minute, I decided not to because I didn't really have a whole lot to say about it. I felt like Cade had more things to say about it than I did. That is a movie you might never heard of before. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. It's a film from the '80s. It's called True Stories, and was it was written and directed and starring by David Byrne, who yes, David Byrne, the lead singer for the band The Talking Heads, and Talking Heads does the music for this movie too. Um, this was a movie I've been wanting to watch for a while, and it was all right. I enjoyed it for the most part. I thought it was fine. There were some funny moments in it. I don't know. The story was kind of all over the place. I didn't really get it, honestly. But I thought I liked David Byrne in the movie. I thought I liked his character and I liked his narration in the film too, and the fourth wall breaks and whatnot. That was cool. And also John Goodman's in this movie, and John Goodman's always great. I never seen a bad John Goodman performance, and this is no exception. He was great in this movie. He was hilarious. Yeah, and the music is pretty good too. Although I think most of the songs, if not all of them, were actually from the worst Talking Heads album I've ever heard, which was called True Stories as well. Somewhat of a soundtrack for this film, and I will say the movie is better than that album, but yeah, go watch my Talking Heads ranking video if you haven't already. But that was spoilers. That was my least favorite was True Stories. But the movie's okay. The movie's okay. I didn't love it, but it was it was it was fine. Um, yeah, True Stories. That one. Yeah, that is number 14. Okay. All right, here we go. Number 13 Number 13 is a movie that is considered to be one of the worst movies ever made. It came from the early 2000s. It's a comedy and was written and directed and starring Tom Green. I think you already know what it is now that I said that. Who did it? Yeah, that's right. That it's Freddy Got Fingered. Oh my god. So if I'm gonna be honest, I wanted this movie to be higher on the list. Like I was actually looking forward for this movie, not gonna lie. Um like I like some bad movies. I mean The Room is honestly one of my all-time favorite films, and I'm not bullshitting either. I love The Room, but this is definitely not The Room. In fact, it's actually worse than The Room. This movie I didn't hate, but at the same time, I was a little bit disappointed just because I wanted to have a good time with this movie, and I kind of did. But the thing is, I think I already knew all the jokes before I went into the movie, because I watched the Nostalgia Critic episode of this movie, which I probably shouldn't have done. I probably should have waited, but I did. I watched the Nostalgia Critic episode of this film, and everything that I laughed at in that movie or in that video, you know, or sorry, everything that I laughed at pretty much in this movie was in that video. So I've already seen like all the funny stuff in the movie, and I laughed again. They still made me laugh, but there wasn't like anything new that I didn't see that was in that video. At least what I thought was funny. So yeah, and yes, I actually do think that this movie is really funny. Even though it's not really a funny movie, but it is if like if you understand that Tom Green was actually trying to make a bad movie, then yeah, this movie is funny. But if you're taking it seriously, then no, it's not. Um, but yeah, but all the funny stuff I've ever seen, like "Daddy, would you like some sausage?" That song, and this is a fancy restaurant, and what's that one that I got my fingers crossed? Like, oh my god, it's a pretty funny movie, but just go in if you want to watch it. Just go into mind. This is was supposed to be a bad movie, so don't take it seriously. But it's a fine. It's all right. I enjoyed it for what it was. I kind of wish I liked it a little more, but it's fine. Freddy Got Fingered is number 13. Okay, number 12 is a movie that came out last year that you might not have ever heard of. It is called Vengeance, and it was written and directed and starring a lot of written and directed and starring uh, in this video, but it was written and directed by and starring BJ Novak, who you might know from The Office, who plays Ryan Howard. Yeah, this is his movie, his directorial debut, and this movie was okay. I don't know. The story was fine. I didn't like the ending, honestly. I thought the ending was just like it just made me go, "What?" And I don't know. There were some funny moments. I thought it was pretty funny for the most part. It actually has a surprisingly good performance by an actor I can't stand, and that is Ashton Kutcher, who I hate in that '70s show. But he was actually okay in this movie. He was actually pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. Other than that kind of stuff, it was okay. I don't think I'll ever watch it again. It was fine. But yeah, Vengeance, that is number 12. Okay, number 11 is another animated movie, although this isn't Pixar, this is actually DreamWorks, and it did come out last year. That is The Bad Guys. This movie was all right. I had fun with it. It was a pretty cool, pretty funny movie. I liked the cast was pretty good. You had like Sam Rockwell and Craig Robinson and Mark Maron, Aquafina as well, and they were all pretty good. I liked the characters in the movie. The story was all right. Yeah, it was an okay movie. It was an all right movie. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it because I barely remember anything from it, honestly. But I remember it being pretty good. Yeah. The bad guys. That is number 11. Okay, number 10 is a Richard Linklater film, a director who I love, and I'm still working on his filmography ranking at the moment. I think there are three Richard Linklater films on this list. So this is the first of three. My number 10 is Bernie, starring Jack Black, Matthew McConaughey, and Shirley MacLaine. And I thought this movie was pretty good. It was a little different than I thought it was going to be. I knew it was going to be like a dark comedy, but I also knew it was like based on a true story as well. But I liked how they did it. It was really interesting. Like they did it in a way kind of like almost like one of those true crime shows, where they like where it's kind of like a documentary, they'll interview like people that were there, but then they'll have like reenactments too. They'll have actors playing these people. Sometimes I think they will even have like the actual people themselves in the movie too. That's kind of how this was, because there were actually like some interviews in this movie that were showing the people that were actually there in the real life scenario of this film. And this movie, just in case you don't know what it's about this guy named Bernie who was a funeral director, and he was really a really nice guy, like the nicest guy ever. But then one day something snapped in his brain, and he ended up killing somebody. So yeah, that's what this movie is about. But now if you like watch the movie, you notice that you might you might be like, well, that person kind of deserved it. So you still are kind of on his side even after he killed this person. But yeah, this is probably Jack Black's best performance. He plays Bernie, and he's fantastic in this film. I think this is his best performance. Shirley MacLaine was also very good. Matthew McConaughey, okay, I guess. I'm not a Matthew McConaughey fan. Sorry, but he was okay. Um, yeah, this movie was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Bernie, that is number 10. All right, number 9 is another Robert Zemeckis movie, and that is Death Becomes Her, starring Bruce Willis, Goldie Hawn, and Meryl Streep, and also Isabella Rossellini as well. Um, this is a weird movie, which I kind of thought it was going to be, just like just seeing the poster alone. But yeah, this is a really weird movie, but I enjoyed it. It was pretty funny. I thought all the performances were great, especially this might be an underrated performance, but I loved Isabella Rossellini in this movie. Uh, she was great. She's not in it a lot as much as the other three are, uh, but she was still very very good in the film. Maybe a better performance in Blue Velvet. I don't know. It's about even, but she was great. And the others too. Bruce Willis was great, as well as Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn. Yeah, it's a really strange movie, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, Death Becomes Her is number 9. Okay, number 8 is another Richard Linklater film, and that is Last Flag Flying, starring Steve Carell, um, Bryan Cranston, and Lawrence Fishburne. And this movie I actually enjoyed it. I think what really makes this movie is actually the chemistry of the three leads. They're all great in this movie, and they all have really good chemistry. And I really liked Bryan Cranston in this movie. I thought he was really funny. His character was kind of an asshole, but he was enjoyable though. Story was interesting too. Yeah, and yeah, it's a pretty good movie. I would say probably one of Linklater's most underrated films, which actually he has a lot of underrated films because he's a very underrated director. Now it's not on the same level of greatness like his other underrated movies like Slacker and Suburbia, but this one was still very good, and I do recommend it if you haven't seen this one yet. Yeah, Last Flag Flying, that is number 8. Sorry if I'm doing this, my back hurts, so yeah. Okay, number 7 is a Steven Spielberg film, and that is AI, Artificial Intelligence, from 2001, starring Haley Joel Osment, Jude Law. I know Robin Williams and Meryl Streep were in it as well. I forgot who all else was in it, but this was a pretty cool movie. I actually watched some of it whenever I was younger on TV, but I never watched it all the way through until recently, and I actually enjoyed it. It's not a great movie. You know, there are some flaws and there are some slow moments in the film that I didn't necessarily like, but overall, I thought it was a pretty cool movie. And also, little known fact, this movie was originally Stanley Kubrick was going to direct this movie, but he kept putting it off for a long time, and then he passed it to Steven Spielberg before he died. And but Spielberg was kind of busy just doing other stuff, other films first, and then Kubrick died, and then Spielberg decided to make the movie, in memory of him. So yeah, that's really cool. And yeah, it's a decent movie. Haley Joel Osment's actually really good in this movie, as he was in was it The Sixth Sense? But yeah, yeah, I enjoyed it. AI, that is number 7. Okay, number 6 is another Steven Spielberg film. In fact, this is actually his debut film. That is Duel. Duel is a really cool movie. Really cool, kind of intense, funny at times too. Um, it's about a guy who is getting harassed by a truck driver and it turns out like the truck driver is kind of trying to kill him too. It's pretty crazy. Um, I will say what I didn't like about the movie. Honestly, I didn't love the ending. I don't know. The ending I just didn't love. I kind of felt like there needed to be more, but yeah, and it was kind of short too. Well, it being a short movie was fine, but like, um, I don't know. It felt kind of rushed, and I just didn't like how they did the ending. So yeah, that's my only complaint about it. But other than that, though, I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was pretty good. Pretty underrated debut from a director. So yeah, yeah. If you haven't seen Duel, I recommend it. It's pretty cool. Duel is number 6. Okay, number 5. I'm not going to talk about this one too much because I already talked about this one in my last video, which was ranking all the best picture winners I've seen. Number 5 is Terms of Endearment, best picture winner from either 82 or 83. I can't remember the year. I can't remember the year entirely, but um, pretty good movie. I actually enjoyed it. It was yeah, Shirley MacLaine was great, Jack Nicholson was great, and they had great chemistry together. The actress who played Shirley MacLaine's daughter was good too. Yeah, good movie. That is number 5. Okay, number 4 is another Best Picture winner, and this one actually didn't make it in that ranking because I actually watched it uh after that video came out. In fact, as I'm recording this video right now, I just recently watched this last night. That is The Shape of Water, the Best Picture winner from 2017. And originally, I actually tried to watch this movie before, and I only got like 20 minutes in, and I actually liked it too. But like, I don't know what it was. Like Hulu, for some reason, like I watched about 20 minutes of it one night, and then I tried to watch it the next day, but Hulu for some reason didn't let me. I don't know what the deal was, but I got to watch all of it last night, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was very well done. The story's really interesting. Cinematography is great. Del Toro did a great direction with this film, and I loved Sally Hawkins in this movie. Um, I think I now have a crush on Sally Hawkins. Not gonna lie, because of this movie, um, and because of a certain scene too. If you've seen the movie, but but no, she was great. Richard Jenkins was good too. So was Octavia Spencer, and also what's his name, Michael Shannon as the villain. He was really good in the movie. I don't know why he wasn't nominated for an Oscar, but but yeah, and also the creature design of the fish creature looked great too. It's a really good movie. I think my only complaint with it is it did feel rushed at the end. The ending, while I actually did like the ending, I didn't like. I don't know. I felt like it was a little bit too rushed. I don't know. Kind of like the Truman Show, for example. Like I thought the ending itself in the Truman Show was good. It was very good. I just didn't like how fast paced it felt, and that's how I felt about this movie, unfortunately. But that's my only complaint. Other than that, I really liked this movie a lot. So yeah, The Shape of Water. That is my number four. Okay, my number three is another Richard Linklater film, and I finally got to watch this movie. This was a movie I've been wanting to watch ever since I started the Richard Linklater ranking. That is Boyhood. Yes. And this is probably Richard Linklater's most divisive film. There's a lot of people that love this movie, and there's a lot of people that hate this movie. I see both sides, honestly. But I am on the positive side. I did really like this movie, but I do get why some people didn't because it didn't. I don't know. Story. There wasn't really much of a story. I kind of felt like there was like more than one story in the movie, but it's fine. I get that. It's just about this kid growing up. And of course, everyone knows about how they made this movie, which is really impressive. It was made for over like 11 years. They shot this movie, um, and the actual actors in this movie, that's actually them throughout the movie aging. So that's really cool. The kid who played what's his name, Mason, he was really good in the movie, and so was I thought his sister was good, who was actually played by Richard Linklater's daughter, little known fact. And also Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette were both really good in the movie. Patricia Arquette actually won an Oscar for this movie, which I don't know. It wasn't like Oscar worthy, but it was a good performance. Yeah, but yeah, good movie. Good movie. I kind of feel like this is the kind of movie I didn't love it, but I felt like that this is probably a movie. Maybe I will the more times I watch it, perhaps. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed Boyhood. I thought it was really good. So yeah, that is my number three, Boyhood. Okay, number two is another Pixar movie. And this one, you might be shocked that I finally seen this movie. But yeah, my number two is Coco. Yeah, you're probably thinking, what took you so long? Hey, this movie came out, let's see, this came out in 2007, 17, I think, 2017. And I just graduated high school that year. Um, so I didn't really have any interest in like kids movies then, so that's why I didn't watch this movie until now. And since I'm working on a Pixar ranking, I figured, yeah, well, of course I need to watch it. But yeah, what better time to watch it than now? And yeah, I understand the hype behind this movie. This is a really good movie. A really good story. I think I like the story a lot. It's a very interesting story, very unique story, and I really liked it a lot. It was really cool. I liked the main character and the side character, Hector or Ector or whatever his name was. They were both great. They had really good chemistry together. Um, it was a really cool movie. The twist I thought was good, although I did kind of see it coming, but still, um, it was still pretty good though. Yeah, this is a really good movie, and also the music too. The music's great. And this movie looks fantastic too. Yeah, I really liked it a lot. But however, there is my number one actually happens to be another Pixar movie that I missed out on, and I liked it actually a little better than this. But my number two is Coco. However, my number one, like I said, another Pixar movie that I didn't watch until just recently. That is my number one favorite movie that I watched in April 2023. Inside Out. Yes. Yes, again, what took me so long? Yeah, this movie, I was a teenager when it came out, so I had no interest in it. But I will say though, before I give my actual opinions, I would have really loved this movie if it came out whenever I was a kid, because the idea of it, of having like people in your head and stuff, kind of like making you do things. Like I was kind of interested in that kind of stuff whenever I was a kid, because I kind of thought, what if there's someone in my head, you know, doing and telling me, doing and saying stuff for me. So yeah, that was yeah. I probably would have really liked it as a kid, but as an adult, I loved this movie. I really loved this movie, and this isn't just a movie for kids; it can also be for adults. Same with Coco, really. Um, but this is a really awesome movie. This is probably like one of Pixar's most creative movies. Um, but it's really cool, and I love the characters, all the joy, sadness, fear, anger, and disgust. I really liked Anger. He might have been my favorite, played by Lewis Black. Bill Hader was funny as Fear, and same with the others. Amy Poehler was really good as Joy. Yeah, this is a really good movie. I understand why people love this movie, why some might even say it's one of the best Pixar movies. I get it. It's not my favorite Pixar movie, but I it's it's probably gonna be high on the list whenever I release my Pixar ranking. It's probably gonna be very high on the list. I'm just gonna go and say that. I'm not gonna say what number it is, but yeah, yeah, I loved Inside Out. This was really good. And there's supposed to be a sequel too, and I'm looking forward for it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually looking forward for it. I just hope it doesn't suck. But yeah, I really enjoyed Inside Out, and that is my number one favorite movie that I watched. That I watched for the first time in April of 2023. Yeah. All right, there we go. There is there is my ranking for every movie I watched for the first time in April of 2023. So in the comments, give me your first time watches of April 2023, and maybe a ranking as well with it. Yeah. And also, what is your favorite and least favorite movies that I listed? Uh, that you've seen or whatever. If you want to rank the movies I've seen, that's cool too. If you haven't seen them all, that's fine. Just rank the ones you have seen. Yeah. Uh. All right. So this Saturday, hopefully, should be a new Your Cousins Are Critics episode. As I'm recording, we're supposed to do it tomorrow, and it will be on the movie Easy Rider. Hopefully, hopefully it will. But yeah, so look out for that if you're interested. And also next week, hopefully look out for a album review. I'm gonna try Parallel Lines from Blondie. So if you're interested in that, check that out. But yeah, all right. So please like, subscribe, comment, and hit the bell. And I'll see you later. All right. Peace.